right, we are back with registered environmental health specialist Josh Jordan of the Forsyth County Department of Health. We have a couple dog questions here, so here we go. Can I take my support dog into a restaurant?
That's a great question. We get this a lot. It depends. So that's up to the restaurant owner if they allow it in an outdoor setting. As far as a service animal, all restaurants have to accept service animals. So if it is a service animal that is trained to do a specific task, then yes, they're allowed to have those within the restaurant as long as they're being well behaved and they're not causing any potential contamination with food or food contact surfaces.
Okay, well, this is a contamination issue, I think, this next question. It says, at one restaurant, the pet owner fed the pet off of the silverware. And I asked the manager, would that silverware be washed along with the silverware that people eat with? He said he didn't have a problem with that. Is that okay? Is that legal?
Well, the food code specifically discusses the fact that the animals should not create any type of contamination with food or food contact surfaces. So I would suggest to that owner that they have a separate set of utensils if that's the practice they want to do.
Okay, gotcha. This next question is about churches. They say, do churches have to be inspected if they have meals occasionally?
Great question. Actually, churches or other nonprofit organizations, by law, they can prepare and sell food to the public one time a month for no more than 2 consecutive days. That's kind of specific, but that's our North Carolina law. And so, yes, they're allowed to do those things without a permit as long as they're sticking within those constraints.
Okay. How often must buffet foods be changed out?
Well, this really depends on if the buffet is capable of maintaining the appropriate temperature of 135 degrees. If it cannot stay hot enough or cold enough, they can use time, and generally that's allowing them to keep food for 4 hours, and then they must replace it.
So while this person says, do church kitchens have to be inspected? The answer is no, but lots of other places do have to be inspected that people might not think about.
So, like in a grocery store setting, it's a great example where we inspect the deli, the meat market where they prepare your meat, produce when they're cutting produce. However, the rest of the groceries are inspected by the Department of Agriculture. So those are a lot of things that we're in looking at as well. We inspect the school cafeterias for the kids. Trying to think of other things. We look at your nursing homes, hospitals. We inspect a lot of different places.
Okay. All right. What is the minimum score to make an A grade?
It's a 90, just like the old college ruling.
All right. So we get this an awful lot. Well, people say, well, I went and picked up food, and when I got home, I opened it up, and there was a hair in it, or there was something else in it. What should they do in that case?
They should take pictures of that, give us the information through a complaint so we can make an investigation. But be aware that we cannot accept the food from the person just because of the chain of custody. We're never going to say that anybody's telling us a lie. However, we cannot accept that just because we were not there from the time it was served to the time they brought it home, those types of things, because there always could be an accidental contamination involved. But we will take it seriously and we will go do the investigation just as any other complaint.
And what happens if you're actually at the restaurant and they serve you something and there's something wrong with the food? There's a hair in it, there's something like that. What should your cause of action be?
Yeah, I would highly recommend that you go ahead and speak to the managers on duty and show them your concern, and so they can help rectify the situation. If in fact they would not help you in that situation, yeah, I would suggest again contacting us and see if we can go make an investigation.
All right, well, this person is writing in, they say that they're a chef and they're Serve Safe certified, so you can talk about what that is. And they say, talk about how points can be taken off for something that have nothing to do with the safety of food, because you guys look at so many different things.
Okay, yeah, so a Serve Safe certified person is essentially what we call a certified food protection manager. So we want those people that are in charge of kitchens to have some sort of food safety knowledge. So the food code requires that they have a certificate, says they passed it, they demonstrate some knowledge from those things. Now, like I said earlier, there are 56 things that we check off on our inspections. They lead from anywhere what we call good retail practices, which are those, hey, is your floor clean, your wall clean, your ceiling clean? But they could lead to a pest control issue, which might lead to someone's food getting contaminated. Okay, so there are things that are on the scale a little bit lower on the risk side, but they all have a purpose to why we talk about those things and show them that it needs to be addressed.
Okay, and just to recap, if people were joining us late, if something is going on at a restaurant and you think it needs to be called attention to, they don't need to call us, they need to call you.
Absolutely. And for Forsyth County, if there's any particular complaints in Winston-Salem, Kernersville, the greater area, contact Forsyth County. We'll be glad to help you. Otherwise, whatever county it's in, your local health department, reach out to them. They'll be glad to help you however they can.
All right, thank you so much for your time and your expertise. We so appreciate it, busting a bunch of myths out there. If you missed any of this, this is going to be in the 2 Wants to Know section of our website.